guys. A couple weeks ago, I told you that if a certain number of you used my headcount link to register to vote, then I would make a 30-minute long, extra juicy, most likely to be demonetized, revealing your secrets episode. We did it! I asked you guys on the community tab what you wanted to see for this video, and one of you suggested that I use a random word generator and then look up secrets based on that. Job. I watch porn online quite often. Every time after watching porn, I feel really guilty. Not for the reason you would assume. It's for those talented sex athletes. Did an amazing job, but I just watch it for free. I totally should pay, but I cannot use my parents' credit card to buy porn, obviously. I can't believe I'm gonna say this about a secret regarding your porn consumption, but you seem like a really good person. Do you feel guilty about watching my videos? Or are those just like shitty enough that it's fine? Let me know. So I live in Australia. Okay, I'm gonna try to do an Australian accent. Aussie. So I live in Australia and me and my sister decided to sneak out one time because our friends were having a bush party. What the fuck is a bush party? I gotta Google this. A party held in a wooded area that's been overgrown with vegetation. Alright, that's kind of what I thought. Not far from where we lived. Anyway, I got drunk and really liked this guy who was at the party, so I decided to send him my nudes. And once I did, he came up to me and told me to come with him anyway. We went back to his, oh, I forgot that I was doing an accent. Anyway, we went back to his house and I gave him a blowjob and he ate me out, and the next thing you know, I lost my V card. And then we went back to the party and me and my sister went back home and now I have a boyfriend, so yay, I guess. Yay, congratulations. Cunnilingus! What a romantic story. All in the bushes. Your party started by the bushes and ended by your bush. Did that even have the word job in it? Oh, a blowjob. I was in English class when I felt a leak and meant Mother Nature had come to visit my vajiji. So I asked to use the bathroom and my bitch of a teacher said no. I told him that I really needed to go and he said that I had lunch to go, and that's when I pulled out my period pouch and told him I need to use a tampon. He told me that I can hold it and locked the door. What? If I were you, I definitely wouldn't have done this, but I would have fantasized about just grabbing the blood and throwing it at him. I was so mad, so I had to sit there and I leaked. I was so embarrassed and started crying, and my classmates, even some of the male ones, helped clean the blood off of my skirt and chair. They walked around me so I could get changed and not be noticed by others. While walking out, the teacher had to go at me for leaking and told me I'm not a baby anymore. Yeah, clearly, you're bleeding out of your vagina. You're a woman. I was hella mad, so I went home that evening and stole some of my grandma's laxatives and then went back to school the next day. I had him first thing, so I went and pretended to sharpen my pencil, and when he was checking other people's work, I put the pills in his coffee. Plop, plop, plop. He went back to his desk to drink his coffee, and a few moments later, he said he needed to sit down. He looked really uncomfortable, and we all heard little farts. And then out of nowhere, he did the most humongous, splashy, liquefying earthquake of a fart I've ever heard, and kaboom! His whole asshole ripped a new one, and splash went all that shit. He took his trousers off in panic and started pacing around the classroom in his pants and started to Charlotte all over his desk. Charlotte? Charlotte all over his desk? What? And the smell was so bad, but it was so funny. He asked people to get someone, and that's when he sat in the corner and cried while sitting in his own shit. He was so embarrassed, so he quit his job. Sorry, sir, but if you could have just held it until the end of class, none of this would have happened. I sincerely hope this is true. Part of me thinks it doesn't make any sense because he would have just gone to the bathroom once he started having stomach problems, but in the spirit of justice, I really hope this happened. I broke my sister's laptop because she told my crush that I liked him. I threw it off of a bridge that is near my house and stole a bunch of her jewelry. I also hid some of my jewelry so it wouldn't look like I was the culprit. It's pretty smart. When my sister found out, she blamed the housekeeper and just went along with it, so she lost her job and got arrested for theft. I feel bad, but it's not my fault because my sister should have just kept her fat mouth shut. Now Josh won't snap me anymore. Fuck Josh and fuck you! This is not okay. Not okay. Not okay. You can't just ruin someone's life because you're in a quarrel with your sister. If you are watching this right now, you are banned from this channel until you tell the truth. The secret's written kind of like a poem or like lyrics to a song, so I'm going to sing it. Let's see what happens. Well, It's a good start. My family moves a lot because of my father's job. I guess this is the musical. I made a couple of friends during 3rd to 5th grade. I moved. Soon I realized I was gay AF. I reconnected with one of my friends from that time. Let's call her AJ. We started texting back and forth for a few weeks. We've been flirting non-stop. Even an occasional love you kissy face. Blushing emojis when I call her cute. And the whole package, nothing inappropriate though, just adorable stuff. A couple of days back, I think I said something cute, I don't know. And she replied, and I quote, "If I was a guy, I'd totally marry you." I need help, Alex. I'm not sure what she means. Is she closeted? Maybe not, maybe. Or she has just no idea that we're flirting. I think she may have tried to tell me she's straight subtly by calling a John Cena gif hot. It's really hard to say. To me, it sounds like she might be a little gay and just not ready to embrace it. So I wouldn't push. Yeah! Jazz hands. I'm a girl, keep that in mind. Okay, so me and my friends were in the halls trying to get to class, and me and all my girlfriends wanted to do something fun. So went to the bathrooms and stood on the toilets, and my friend dropped her phone in the toilet, so she left, so it was just me and my other friends, let's call her Jane, were bored, so we turned on all the sinks in the bathroom and filled the sinks up, and then we heard a teacher walking to the bathroom we were in. We knew it was a teacher because all my teachers walk fast and heavy. It's so accurate. It's like, there's just a kind of clump. And we hid in the stalls and they just went to the bathroom, so we tried to run out, but they went out the stall. They knocked on all the stall doors, but we didn't answer, so they went back to the stall and we heard moaning. Fucking moaning. So we ran out and the teacher heard us and walked out of the stall and forgot to zip up his fly, and his shrimp was just there. So we ran and went back to class as soon as possible. We were mortified, so we told all of our friends, which ended up going around the whole school, so the teacher quit his job because he was embarrassed. I'm 20 now, and I saw him at the grocery store and he blamed me for losing his job. I mean, maybe if you weren't a pervert, you wouldn't have lost your job dealing with children. I'm afraid to masturbate because I have a phobia of slimy things. It gets slimy down there. So then I feel like I'm invading my own body's privacy. So then I get upset with myself and think I'm disgusting, so I take a shower and wash myself. I then go to bed because I want the day to be over with. Luckily, I have a boyfriend, so he does the job for me. That's good. I can't help but wonder about his slimy stuff though. You know? Like if you're afraid of slimy stuff, there's a whole lot of that there too. Let's try a new word. Our next word is dramatic. I used to have a friend who was super dramatic and sensitive and would not react well to you asking how she was. If she posted something concerning online and I asked her about it, she would get petty and passive aggressive. So I made an anonymous account online so I could see when she posted concerning things, and I would message positive messages. Wow. You're a good friend to her through that made-up persona. Surprisingly, she wasn't rude or petty towards the stranger I made up and treated my persona as a beloved internet friend, and I was able to send her my love in a way that she would accept it. I still feel bad about lying to her though, and I hate to think about how she would react or treat me if she knew it was me messaging her the whole time. This is so pure and beautiful. The fact that you went out of your way to support your friend, and then the fact that you feel badly about lying even though it was just to help. I love you. I love good people. Oh God, yes, yes, yes. I'm prone to addiction and I am terrified. Ever since I was little, it was so hard for me to break habits. I would fall into things and I'd go hurtling straight down into addiction. First, it was things like sweets, and then the internet, and then cutting myself. But the worst was coffee. Coffee had extreme effects on my body. Whenever I drank it, my teeth would turn this sickly looking yellow. No matter how many times I brushed, my teeth stayed yellow. Another thing, when I drank coffee, I would stay awake for days. One cup would mean no sleep for at least 48 hours. It was awful. Just lying awake at midnight, exhausted but not being able to rest. And also, coffee would make my anxiety skyrocket. It was ridiculous. The way I fidgeted and looked around, you'd think I was being held at gunpoint. Even my mom noticed how I'd act when I drank it. All this, and I couldn't stop drinking it. I knew what was gonna happen, but I didn't care until it was actually happening. It's horrifying to me. The way my life stopped running normally because of an addiction, and it wasn't even something like smoking, it was coffee. This is why I'm scared of trying vaping or alcohol. My life was this bad over something normal people don't even give a second thought at. What's even worse is that I know addiction runs through my family, but I'll try everything I can to fight it. I went on a coffee strike. No coffee! Just for me, though. You can all do what you want. No coffee! A few months ago. It's been making my life better for sure. My teeth are a lot whiter and I don't feel anxious all the time. You might be thinking this is really dramatic and not much of a secret, but I think I'm proud of my progress. And I don't know. I just wanted to tell someone. Girl, have you ever heard of decaf? It's the solution to all of your problems. Oh, I guess except for the teeth thing. That I don't know. I don't know about that. I have never told this secret to anyone, but I secretly wish death upon my parents because my mom is very mentally abusive and she has told me multiple times that I am a failed abortion and has gone as far to say that she hopes I get raped. My father forces me to let him kiss me and hugs me uncomfortably closely and doesn't respect my boundaries. He also has touched my chest and butt, and when I asked to stop, he said no because he owns my body till I'm 18. Rubbed my thighs and such. He said he doesn't mean anything by it, but I'm still scared. Both of them and my brother do not accept me for being non-binary and asexual. I really had to let this off my chest. I always feel like I'm being over dramatic about it. This is something I probably wouldn't normally keep in one of these videos, but I promised you guys that it would be extra juicy, extra scandalous, so I'm keeping in the really gnarly shit, and this is really gnarly. But obviously, I can't just, this isn't funny. I'm not gonna laugh it off. First off, you're not being overly dramatic at all. Don't invalidate your own experience and emotions. There's nothing dramatic about being upset or disturbed by it. It's actually pretty normal that you feel that way. I think you need to find a way out of your home, a place to stay that's safer. I know maybe that sounds really naive. Like, what am I talking about? Who are you gonna stay with? But this is illegal, it's immoral, it's disgusting, and I don't know you, but I care about you. I just hope that you ask for help somewhere outside of your family. When I was 13, I used to imagine myself in dramatic scenarios where my crush saves me from the tragedy. I am now 17 and hate remembering it. I hate my 13-year-old self for making up unrealistic scenarios. I cringe every time I remember. Really? Because I'm 24 and I still do that. I have an awful pattern in my life where I start to tell stories that I think are just weird, and once I tell them to someone else, they say, dude, that's illegal. Here's one of them. About a year and a half ago when I was 21, I was talking or whatever to this club promoter. Sometimes we just have to make bad decisions in our lives. That's true. The first night we met, my friend who had introduced us noticed that we were vibing, and she said, please don't kiss that guy. He's a rapist. At that point, though, I had already kissed him. Whoops. I knew my friend had a tendency to be very dramatic, but though I didn't totally believe what she said, I didn't totally discount it either. I kept it in the back of my mind. I still wanted to have some fun and allow myself to make some bad decisions in my youth. Me and this promoter kept talking and going out for a couple weeks throughout, which he lied to me multiple times and was too stupid to keep track of them. He told me he was 27 and I later found out he was 31. He told me he was vegan, I guess to try to curry my favor, then ate fish right in front of me. Every night I saw him, I managed to get out of actually having sex with him by the grace of God, and then left in the middle of the night without saying goodbye. Then one night at an after party, he professed his love to me, told me that he wanted to make me his girlfriend and then his wife, blah blah blah. But then he disappeared into his room and locked the door. The lock on his door was next level too. It had a passcode to get in. Okay, something's wrong there. Bad sign for a guy who your friend has already told you is a rapist. But his apartment had a loft, and if you went up to it, you could look down into the bedrooms. Bad architectural choice for a rapist. I'm sorry, that's so fucked up, but like also kind of funny. I was drunk and confused and went up to the loft to see what was going on in his bedroom. There was a girl face down in his bed, and he was, I don't even want to say having sex with her because sex is something two people have together, and he was more of just thrusting himself onto her. I left and never talked to him again and repressed the memory for a very long time. He texted me afterwards every week for a couple of weeks with no response from me after that. First, he was just inviting me out again and again, a couple times of me not responding though, and he started sending me frowny faces. They went from emoticons to emojis the more time went on. The last thing he ever said to me was, why are you so mean to me? I quickly and actively tried to forget I ever knew the guy. Then the other day I was recounting bad party experiences to friends and I remembered this one, and only as I began to tell the story out loud and go over the details did I realize, oh fuck, that girl was probably passed out and I witnessed someone rape her and never reported it to anyone. So I am now living with an immense amount of guilt and shame every day for my shitty part in this awful story. If anyone hearing this lives in LA and recognizes who this might be or goes to an after party at an apartment with a loft and a padlock on the bedroom door, please be careful. This is so scary. You should have reported him or done something and still can't. But I understand being in a situation like that and I don't know, out of shock, just wanting to leave. But goddamn, I hope this guy gets gets what he deserves. I also really want to quickly say I laughed at one point in this story, and there are other videos in this series where I kind of laugh uncomfortably at stories that are associated with sexual assault. I have my own experiences, and humor is a way for me to cope with that. I just want you guys to know I'm not just like a person laughing at it, I'm a person who has struggled with it, and so that's where I'm coming from. I don't know if it makes it any better, but yeah, let's move on. I have an eating disorder, and I feel really guilty about it because my mom thinks I'm faking it, and I feel like I'm inconveniencing her so much. My therapist is trying to recommend me for intensive care, not quite inpatient, but really close. And I'm relieved because my mom is going to say no. In her words, I'm not that bad, I'm just dramatic. I'm really scared of intensive care, so for once I'm glad she's uneducated about eating disorders and doesn't support me. I think a huge part of eating disorders, or what fuels an eating disorder, is shame. And so it's really not helpful that your mom says to you that you're not that bad and that you're just being dramatic. It's really upsetting to hear this, actually, and I feel like you should have a conversation with her where you could even be like, maybe I'm not even that bad. Perhaps you're correct, but if you don't want me to get worse, you can't keep invalidating the fact that I do have a problem, because that doesn't help. Snap! I flashed my whole class. LOL. So this one time I was on a Zoom class and I thought I had my camera closed, but apparently I didn't. So this guy I've been talking to for a while sent me a dick pic on Snapchat, and I decided that it would be a good idea to send him something back. And so I sent him a titty pic while having my camera open and being in the middle of a Zoom class. A boy in my class screenshotted it, and the rest is history. First off, if you're in high school, don't send nudes. That's illegal. And also, a Zoom class is an hour to maybe 3 hours tops. Just don't send nudes for that, like, little period of time. It's not too hard. If I'm on a Zoom call, like a group Zoom call, and I have to pee, I'm literally afraid to go into another room and pee while on a Zoom call. To send a nude? I guess I just don't understand. When I was a senior, my English teacher and I had a lot of chemistry, and he said he saw himself as a dad figure to me. That's fucking weird. Weird, I know. This story gets fucked up immediately. Long story short, a few months after I graduated, we talked on Facebook because I was going through a hard time, suicidal and living with abusive people. And one night he admitted his feelings for me while drunk on a message, and things got interesting on Snap. We didn't particularly go far IRL, but like, thing is, he has a wife and children. And I cut him off because I came to my senses that the whole situation was fucked. But every now and then I just sit here wondering about things from her perspective. Realistically, I'm never gonna tell her, even though I see them sometimes living with their dealer. What? But yeah, I just, fuck. You're living with your teacher's drug dealer? I feel like that's even crazier than the first part of the story. Who's hiring these teachers? But yeah, I just, fuck. I fucked up. I just hope maybe she realizes what he's like, or the mile-long list of complaints he had about her, and she organically, happily, or as happily as possible at least, just leaves. I'm definitely happier now that I did. That is a weird situation to be in, because like, you do have the power to tell her the truth and change her life for the worse, but ultimately for the better. You guys leave a comment down below and let me know, what is morally the right thing to do? Is it to tell this man's wife about what happened, or is it to just mind your own business? I am leaning in a certain direction. I just don't want to say what it is because I want to know what you guys think. Let me know. All right, let's do a new word. Crop. My parents have been divorced for a while now, and last summer my mom got married to this rich guy. We'll call him Dave. Dave is a somewhat cool guy. We haven't really talked though. Anyways, he's got a super hot son. We'll call him Harry, because why not? Who's just a year older than me, and my mom and I moved into their house last year. I know this sounds like a Wattpad story, but please just hang on. So we moved in, and one time at like, I don't know, 3 a.m. or something, I can't remember, I went into the kitchen to get some water, and there was Harry shirtless drinking some milk. I'm already concerned for your safety because this man was casually drinking milk. Who does that? And I was uncomfortable already since he was drinking milk. No, since I was in like booty shorts and a crop top, but I still got a glass of water nonetheless. Then we started talking. Turns out he's really cool and I like him in a kind of romantic way, if that makes sense. So I'm all finished, so I put the glass away. I head back to my room, which is coincidentally across the hall from his. I try to go to sleep, but I just give up. So since it was basically morning, I brushed my teeth and showered, yada yada. Anyways, Anyways, I'm on my phone watching Netflix when Harry knocks on the bedroom door. He says he can't fall asleep either, so we talked for a while. We're having a fun little chit chat, but then I have to bend over a bit to charge my phone. When I sit up, I realize that he was looking at my ass and had a bit of a boner, so that's always fun, smiley face. So yeah, one thing led to another and we fucked. It was quite the experience. Now we're sort of like friendship slash step siblings with benefits. I don't know, but we still do the nasty sometimes, and I'm not complaining since he's good in bed and a cool dude. It's just, I kind of like him as more than friend slash step sibling. There was this one time when he called me a chocolate girl because I'm black, and that was very uncomfortable, but that was a while ago and I've since educated him. Otherwise, he's really nice and I'm not sure what to do. Holy bug. I think the best thing you can do is to stop having sex with your step sibling. Yeah. There are lots of other people in the world that you can fornicate with. Like so many other people that aren't related to you. Theater! Every person in my choir was required to perform at a singing event we hold at our school. I was very unprepared a couple days before the show, so I decided to do crew backstage as a way to get credit without singing. I was the only one in choir who did not sing, and my teacher was pissed. I was told to open the curtain for one act. Well, I completely forgot my one job as I was watching the show on a screen outside the theater. I was confused when there was suddenly a long pause before one of the acts went on, and then I realized what I had done. This isn't very juicy, but I feel like we can all relate to that moment, seeing something going wrong and then being like, oh shit, that's my fault. So I relate. Shell. When I was younger, I would always play in my backyard. I would grab big or small snail shells and collect them and put them on the ground. Then I would step on them. Sometimes they were empty, sometimes they were snails in them. I crushed snail shells with my shoes. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for shelling. Wow, it was that bad? She just left the room. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you gotta fail to succeed, Mood. Let's get a new word. Beef. I'm a vegetarian and I'm beef. So about a year ago, this guy from our school threw a party. It was really fun and everything was normal. Of course, the usual party things happen, but nothing really out of control. Then the guy and his sister start running around and making everyone clean up because the police came. Naturally, everyone started freaking out. But my one friend was like, let's pretend we're having a movie night. So everyone at the party, half the people drunk, sits down and watches Hannah Montana. Turns out this couple who had beef with the guy who threw the party called the cops because he said they couldn't come. Imagine being a cop, getting called to a party, and then walking in on like 35 teenagers watching Hannah Montana. So good. Were all of you, when it worked out and you didn't get in trouble because you pulled it off? Hopefully, that's how I imagine it played out. Were you all like, ooh, whoa, whoa, yeah. During St. Patrick's Day, me and this girl had beef. I hated her so much because she stole my best friend. Anyways, this girl had a peanut allergy and I didn't think it was that serious of one. So I went to her and told her that I was going to get her a drink that I didn't like. So I took her water bottle since we couldn't have cans of drinks at school, and while I was pouring some lemonade, I put some peanut oil in it. The oil I got from my mom. I gave it to her and after a couple of minutes, she started to suffocate and the school had to take her to the ambulance. I'm not sure why I did it on St. Patrick's Day, but she's doing better. I think I learned a good lesson, Heart. What is the lesson that you learned? I hope it's to not poison people. You're like, no, it was to use more peanut oil next time. Next word. Ooh, yeah. Metal. So in the bathroom at home, we have this pair of tiny red-handled but metal blade scissors meant for a young child to use, LMAO. These scissors have stayed in the bathroom for probably over 10 years now. Even managed to move around a couple of bathroom locations when we moved house. But one thing that makes the scissors unique is that they are the pube scissors. No one ever mentions it. No one has ever seen them laying out of a drawer or cupboard and exclaimed that the scissors are gross. We are just silently know in our hearts and accept the fact that they are the pube scissors. They always will be the pube scissors. And that's just how it is. I don't know how they still cut so well and have been sharp enough to snip my vag just a little, like once a year. So there you go, pube scissors. I'm gonna dedicate this video to pube scissors. Thank you, pube scissors, for all that you do for this person and I guess their entire family. In loving appreciation, all of the proceeds from the ads of this video will be going to pube scissors. Cheers to pube scissors. So I've kind kind of always had this weird kink. I didn't know it was a legit thing until 2 years ago, but it always made me feel gross, but I don't want to stop. The kink is something called sounding, which is basically putting a thin metal rod into a male's urethra. I just like watching him squirm, and it's even better if he's low-key in pain. I feel so embarrassed about it. I don't know why I like causing sexual pain. By the way, I love your videos. I mean, we all have our kinks, you know? This may be one that most people haven't heard of and is particularly bizarre, but as long as you're not forcing metal rods up anyone's urethra, fuck it. Why not? Next word. Next word. Bedroom. Oh no. So my dad gave me access to his email so I can read over an email he had to send. I closed out the email when I was done, and that was the end of it. The next day I had my schoolwork to do and go to my Google Drive recents. I saw that it was still logged into his account because none of the files seemed familiar. The thumbnails looked a bit weird, so I looked into it more. After about 15 minutes of playing around, I was completely shocked and disgusted. First off, my dad had like 10 gigabytes worth of porn saved in a folder, which had a normal, not suspicious name, so props to him for hiding that. On top of that, I saw he had an audio and video recordings and pictures of our tenants having sex. A part of our house is able to be rented out, so we have a couple living there. He would place the recorder hidden inside their room, and from listening to the audio, it was all sexual noise. From the video recordings he physically took, I could tell that he filmed into their bedroom window at night, and the video showed pretty clear that they were both naked and having sex. He had a pic of their used condom from the night before, and the only way he got that was by entering their room when they were not there. He has over 200 files of audio, video, and pictures combined of just them doing sexual stuff. This couple has been renting with us for 4 years, and he's been doing this since 2016. It's completely sick and disgusting, and I know it could get us in huge trouble. When I found out, I didn't know what to do, so I told my mom about it, and our plan is to catch him in the act of recording through their window and expose him and make him go to a psychologist or something. The couple is moving out in 2 weeks, so hopefully we catch him in the act before then and make him embarrassed. What the actual fuck? What the fuck? The weirdest part is the photo of the used condom. I get the other stuff, like it's pervy, you wanna, I don't know, watch that shit, listen to it, but a photo of a used condom? You need a new dad. Premium. This guy broke up with me in October, and I'm still sad about it, and I definitely shouldn't. And I'm pissed that I still love him because like everyone in my life hates him, and we all talk mad shit about him, and he definitely knows it because he's probably heard me, and he's also seen me and my friends flip him off a few times. And I wanna like egg his car or something, but I never would because I'm a pussy. He's an awful person, so I don't understand why I still love him, but we haven't talked since December when he kicked me off his Spotify Premium. And yeah, this isn't a secret, everyone knows, but I just needed to get it out. I'm in love with an asshole who dumped me months ago, and I still have no clue how to move on. Thank you for listening. I think sometimes we like people who aren't nice because we don't really like ourselves. It's not even about him so much as us fawning over someone who treats us how we internally feel about ourselves. I don't know if that's right. I mean, maybe you really love this person, and maybe you have a beautiful connection, but it's a theory to consider. Also, I'm sorry for your loss of Spotify Premium. That's really sad. Peel. On Valentine's Day of 2015, I was peeling this potato to help my mom make dinner and accidentally cut my finger really bad. I was using a knife, not a peeler, because I was small and dumb. And I started bleeding pretty bad, and I instinctively put my finger in my mouth. Fast forward to 2019, and I'm on TikTok and see this thing about other girls eating their own tampons to like recycle the blood. So I'm dumb and wanted to try it, and when I did, I low-key liked it. So I might be a vamp. I don't know, love your videos and your personality though. I love your personality too, girl. You sound nuts. Are you a vampire if you just eat your own blood, or is that just like, is that something else? Any professional vampires? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you. Last week, my boyfriend told me to get a Brazilian wax. What a dick! You better have paid for it if he told you to get it. Well, the girl who waxed me left the wax on too long and it hardened. I literally had to pick it off in chunks. I couldn't get it all off, so I asked my boyfriend to peel it off for me. He just laughed. I think I can still feel it there. Help? Question mark? I don't know what to do about your vagina, but break up with your boyfriend. That is the solution to this problem. I promise you. Hey Alex, I was a weird kid. I used to use my hot glue gun and put glue on bugs and ants just to watch them suffer. Once the glue hardened, I peeled it off the floor and kept them in a box called my secret bug collection. And I still have them to this day. I don't even care for bugs, and this makes me sad. Also, I'm concerned. I feel like this is the beginning stages of a serial killer. Is it not? Hurting animals? Get some help. Hey, so I'm feeling really depleted and I need to lay on the floor. So.
Watch my